All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, let's see. Can I take this off? Okay. All right, welcome to day one of the summit. My name is Tanya Smith, and I serve as the director for the Office of Civil Rights at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, and I also serve as the agency's chief diversity officer. Our office charge is to ensure NCDOT is providing equal access to customers and employees participating in transportation programs that receive federal or state funding. Well, welcome to Prime Opportunities breakout session at the NC Transportation Summit. I'm so glad about this session, y'all don't even know. So we have lots of primes here available to talk to you, to network, but specifically we are here to get you contract opportunities. So you are hearing from the source what we have available. So today you'll have a unique opportunity to connect with these lovely prime contractors here in the first two rows. I think we'll have you all in the two rows to actively seek projects that are available for you. This session is designed to foster meaningful interactions and force you into valuable partnerships, right? Because we want you all working. We want to see North Carolina grow. We want to see our industry prosper. We hope our audience gains invaluable insights into the needs and expectations of these fine prime contractors. I'm a prop y'all up a lot, don't worry. I'm gonna say a lot of great things about you because you have lots of work, right? But our goal is simple, is to provide a platform where both the audience and the prime contractors can benefit. At the same time, we want our speakers to discover promising collaborations and potential partners among the talented pool of attendees. Together, let's seize the opportunity to unlock new avenues for growth and success. I have to read these, they're making me do that, so I'm sorry if I'm looking down. But listen, this is your time to get some work, to grow generational wealth, get work, get work, get work. What's the word of the day? Get work. Okay, that's my charge at the end of the day. But as we embark on this journey, we want to elevate our new businesses to new heights. So now I'm going to turn over to NCDOT's Deputy Chief Engineer who supports me tremendously. He supports my office and helps engagement, Mr. Wonderful, Boyd Tharrington.
Thank you, Tanya.
You paid me to do that.
That may be Mr. Wonderful made. Isn't that the guy from Shark Tank? Isn't that Mr. Wonderful? Yeah. I wish I had his money, but I don't. No, that's great. So again, thanks, Tanya. And I would just say, you mentioned the partnership and the way we work together. I'm Boyd Tharrington again, Deputy Chief Engineer for the Highway Division of NCDOT. And we work in collaboration with Office of Civil Rights on a lot of things. We cross paths in a lot of different ways. But with the one goal, really, or a main goal, and that's how do we bring new contractors into the fold? How do we help small contractors, DBE firms? How do we how do we get their participation on our projects? How do we ensure their success and also at the same time help our prime contractors to find and be able to utilize those firms and meet their project goals, but also get their projects delivered for us. So very critical. A couple of logistical things that I've been told I need to cover here before we introduce our contractors. One thing, a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't downloaded the event app for this particular summit, you need to go do that. The event app is sponsored by our great partners at Weatherall Engineering. So you're going to search for Attendee Mobile. That's through the app or the Google, the App Store or the Google Play Store. Once you get there, you're going to search 2024 NC Transportation Summit. Then you can log in. You can create a custom profile. You can see all the sessions, speakers, and also create an agenda and join conversations with other attendees. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that. But again, I want to thank the prime contractors that are here today, taking time during this event to talk a little bit about your companies, talk about the projects that you're working on, what your needs are as you look at future work. We've got over $10 billion in active construction that's out there on the street right now. Over 10 billion. And those numbers vary, but it's a big number of active work that's out there. And if you look over the next 12 months, our central letting alone's over $2 billion worth of projects that are coming down the line for our capital program. And then when you look at our various maintenance programs, you're pushing another probably over $1 billion in contracting opportunities, for bridge, for resurfacing. Even our general maintenance reserve that's used for just general DOT maintenance, a lot of that's performed by contractors. So a lot of opportunities. So we appreciate these primes being here today, sharing a little bit about their companies, talking about the things that they're looking for as they're doing business with subs. So with that, I will shut up and get the event started. So each one of these folks will have about 3 or 4 minutes. Just be brief, and we've got 11 prime contractors here today, and I mentioned all those billions of dollars worth of work that we have going on. A lot of these firms up here in these front 2 rows, good chunk of that money is being administered and handled by the folks right here on this front 2 rows. So I'm gonna pass over to them. Our first speaker is Mr. Drew Johnson with Branch Civil, and he's the Vice President of the North Carolina operations.
Thank you, Boyd. They wanted me to go first because I think they said I might not make it because I'm the oldest guy. I might not make it through the program. And so all right, they told us to go fast. So you've heard who I am. Branch is our company. We're based out of Roanoke, but we have offices, and I'll show you later where. We do building work, highway work, and we do Hopkins Lacey is a branch that does fabrication and installation, and duct work and other things like that, duct bank. So who are we? Our revenue for a company just in 2 states isn't too bad. So 730 million, 1,200 employee owners because we're in ESOP. Who we are, this is all the different locations of where we have offices, and in North Carolina we just go out of one office and just go across the whole state. So this is the way we're set up currently. And these are some of the way where we stand and rank, and we're proud of those things. A lot of it in Virginia, some of it is regional. This is a job that we have 10.5 million cubic yards of dirt up in Route 58 in Virginia. Nice big job. But I think that was short enough for you, wasn't it? And I had the most slides, too. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Payne with Archer Western Construction, Senior Design Build Manager. We're based out of Cary. Oh, it's not.
Right down here. No.
Here we go. I got it. Good. We're based out of Cary, North Carolina. We run both North and South Carolina from that office. What we'd like to do today is talk to you mainly about our Asheville work. We're wrapping up our I-26 work, I-4400 right now. We just were awarded the 2513 BD valued at $1.1 billion. We're going in through a 6-month period with DOT on that, and but either way, there's a lot of work to come out of that connector project. In addition, we're looking at the AAAV projects as well as 1923 AC. The work we're looking for, or the help we need from the DBE community is everything. We need help from your businesses to build these projects. We have 3,300 employees through the Southeast. but we rely on local work to help get the projects done. All these projects involve bridge, walls, moving dirt, moving rock, and we need the DBE community to help fulfill that goal. I know these are going through the different segments where they're located. For the Asheville work, we're a joint venture with Wright Brothers Construction, but we're also going after work as Archer Western here in Raleigh is where we're next targeting for business. Like I said, scopes available for bidding, MSE wall, grading, storm drain, everything that goes along with highway construction. You can reach out to me. We'll be around, as they said at the end, to get contact info, and I can also put you in touch with our estimators so that you can be on our list and get the notices when we need your help. With that, I'll pass along to the next presenter, which will be Keith Nixon.
Good afternoon. I'm Keith Nixon with Balfour Beatty. I'm the Director of Business Acquisition. Happy to talk to you this afternoon about some of our upcoming opportunities, but also give an overview of the company. We're a British conglomerate and we're expanding in the US. We're a building and a civils contractor, and approximately 40% of our turnover now is in the US, and it's continuing to grow. We have a presence in about approximately half of the states, and North Carolina, South Carolina is one of our key markets. This makes up the scope that we're delivering worldwide. I won't go into any detail here because it's far too complicated. In terms of safety, which is one of our priorities based on our zero harm mantra, which is zero harm to the community, zero harm to employees, zero harm to the traveling public. Just a snapshot of some of the projects that we've got going on right now at various stages of completion, including, excuse me, I can't really see these. Harkers Island on the left top has just been wrapped up. Fayetteville is approaching completion later this year. That's a JV with Branch. Then we've just mapped up Military Cutoff, and the other projects along the US 70 corridor are ongoing. But we are planning to bid on a lot of other projects over the next year to build our backlog. And this is a snapshot of those projects. And I would counsel that does include I-85, and the department shouldn't get too excited that we're going to bid on it. We're still thinking about it. But coming up, we've got NC-55, Rockfish, SR-112, and some of our other compadres here are going to be bidding the same projects. Gordon Road, NC-211, I-85. I'm going to go through this, but there's a QR code after this that if you snap on, it will give you a list, and you can go into our vendor system, and we'll reach out to you. Mid-Current Crossing technically, but that looks as though it's going to be next year at the earliest. And this is the Parkland QR. You're welcome to take a photograph of that. That will log you into our vendor system, and then our estimators and myself, and you can reach out to us as well. I'll leave that up there for a few seconds. This also puts you into the vendor system for our buildings group too. And I'll wrap it up there and hand it over to Lee.
Lee Bradley, Chief Estimator at Blythe Construction. And just tell you a little bit about us. We're a French-owned company. We're in 120 different countries, have over 220,000 employees worldwide, and do over $50 billion in revenue. Vinci USA, we have a little over 3,000 employees, 55 locations around the country, and do about $1.5 billion here in the States. Locally, this is where we are. We have some asphalt in Texas and up north in the Carolinas. We do construction like the rest of these guys and asphalt. So here in North Carolina, North and South Carolina, we're a little over 1,000 employees. Work in 2 states. We have 14 asphalt plants and do about $500 million annually. These are some of the types of projects that we work on. We produce asphalt, we lay down asphalt, roadway paving, we do airports, we do work on express lanes in Charlotte, lots of interstate widening projects, public and private developments. This is a list. I know it's hard to see, but this is a list of upcoming projects, on the DOT list that we will be targeting. And if you come up to me afterwards, I can give you a card. We'd love to, talk to you and partner with you on upcoming work. So, thank you.
All right, I'm Travis Paget. I'm with Blythe Development. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina. We also have an office in Charleston. Come on now. Who are we? Blythe's been a family-owned business for over 100 years, maintaining 800 to 900 employees. We operate 4 asphalt plants in the Charlotte market. Work in public, commercial, and residential. In 2024, Blythe transitioned to an employee-owned ESOP company. And again, that's after over 100 years of family-owned business. Leadership values remain the same, and the Blythe family has maintained roles within the company. We can see jobs here that we've done. Are in the process of I-77 SC-160 in York County, South Carolina. I-77 Gilead Road to the Virgin Diamond. The new Panthers interchange, no longer Panthers, not going to be there, in Rock Hill. The I-40 business, we joint ventured with Flatiron in Winston-Salem. Here's another picture for it. We've got multiple jobs in York County. Do work at the Charlotte Airport. We've got a design build that we finished here 4 or 5 years ago with Flatiron right here local on PTI. Come on now. Working in, like I say, in Somerville and the Charleston market, the River District around the airport, and commercial and residential work. This is the Sun City project, the Del Webb community down in Indian Land. Opportunities for all subs and DBEs as well is concrete flat work, guardrail, signals, walls, erosion control, pavement marking, hauling, drill shafts, rebar tying, clearing and grubbing, fencing, jack and bore, survey, geotechnical, and anything else you might do. Even if we self-perform, we do take quotes from subcontractors, and for competitive reasons, we go with the best number. Contact Eve Hibbler. She's our estimating assistant, and estimating at Blythe.us is contact for that. And Steve will be, you'll see those emails for soliciting quotes come from this email as well for anybody on the NCDOT list when we're bidding projects. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Blake Horning. Work with Sunrock. I am the manager of engineers and project managers. And Sunrock has been around for about 75 years. They started off up in Buffalo, New York, as a material supplier, mainly aggregate, asphalt, some concrete as well. But it was about 30 years ago they decided to take a big move and come down to North Carolina and give it a stab down here. And so for the longest time, about 30 years now, I should say, they've been doing aggregates, asphalt, concrete, and that's what everybody in the area really knows Sunrock for. However, though, 13 years ago, we decided to start a contracting division, and that is where we do all of our work. A lot of people don't know that, but that is what we do now. On the contracting side, we focus on new roads, we do road widenings, resurfacing. We outside of the DOT, we do residential, commercial, any kind of site work project that we need done in the area. Over there on the side, you'll see that's our focus area, basically from Greensboro to Rocky Mount, Virginia state line, pretty much down to Sanford. So we're a lot more confined to a smaller area than some of our other guys out here, but this is where we focus. So if you're in that area, we'd love to talk with you. Here's a list of some of the subcontractors that we need help with. We prefer to call them teaming up with everybody. We're not like a dictatorship. We want to form relationships and team up with companies and continue to work with them project after project. But this is the area where we need most of our help, though. I'm not going to read through the list because I think you guys can all read it, but we basically need everybody's help. So that is basically going to wrap it up for me. If you need my information, it's there. Go to our website if you need any more information, and I'll wrap it up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andy Berry. I'm an estimator for S.T. Wooten Corporation. S.T. Wooten, that's the slide there. S.T. Wooten was started in 1952 as a family-owned business in Stantonsburg, North Carolina, which is just outside of Wilson. Our home office is now in Wilson. We kind of function in eastern North Carolina. Basically, we have 15 concrete plants and about 15 asphalt plants. We work maybe Mebane, kind of east. We have 7 operating divisions: heavy grade, storm drain, utility, structures, concrete flat work, asphalt, commercial, and ready mix. We've got 1,050 employees. Of course, we have our home office in Wilson. We have a Raleigh commercial office, a New Bern commercial office, and a Wilmington commercial office. These are the scopes we look for. Primarily, we do heavy highway design build, a lot of urban road widening, a new location. We also do a lot of bridge replacement projects as well as county resurfacing. And all these scopes participate in almost all those projects. To contact us, of course, we have a website. If you go to our website, you can go to bidding opportunities. You can register as a subcontractor. We'll send out an email for anything we have coming up. It also has our plan room on it, so you can download plans, look at specs and whatnot. We also advertise on the NCDOT Project Letting, the Carolinian, Construct Connect. Of course, we do email solicitation if you register under bidding opportunities. Of course, we go to meetings just like this and appreciate the opportunity. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always wait around. I'll give you my card after this. I'm happy to talk to anybody. This is our office number and our website. And then this is our email address for quotes. We ask that everyone send quotes here. All our estimators throughout all the offices have access to this. So if you send it here, you know whoever's estimating that project will get it. Appreciate your time. Look forward to meeting everybody.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Casey Hurley. I'm a project director for Lane Construction. Happy to be here speaking about the company, about who we are, what we do, future opportunities. Dive right into who we are. I think. Appreciate it. All right, so who is Lane? Much like these guys, we're a heavy civil contractor. We do a little bit of everything. Here in North Carolina, chase predominantly NCDOT work. Up on the screen, these are just a snapshot of what we've done. In fact, this snapshot is a selection of pictures that I had on my computers. These are my jobs. The point I wanted to make on this slide, Lane Construction works coast to coast, Virginia, up to South Carolina. So we've been successful pretty much throughout the state, and we bid pretty much throughout the state. So beyond being just a heavy civil contractor, what do we do? First picture there, concrete paving. So Lane is one of the premier concrete pavers in the whole country. So we chase a lot of concrete paving work. Second picture, believe it or not, that's a tunnel. So that's a tunnel taking the Lynx Blue Line train onto the University of Charlotte campus. Then we've got earthwork, cast-in-place box culvert, storm drain, and bridge construction. There's obviously a story for each one of these pictures. I wish we had time to tell stories, but I guess the point that I'd leave you with is each one of those stories includes significant DBE participation. So each one of those pictures includes a DBE partner that we couldn't have been successful without. Speaking of success, my last 3 projects. So what do we see on the screen? So 30, 60, 90, almost $90 million worth of DBE commitment funneled through the project to our partners. Goal exceeded in each case. Upcoming opportunities. Similar to the list that you've already seen, Lane's going to be chasing 85 down in Gastonia. That's the date is still TBD. NC 211, that's in July. Also in July is I-40 in Asheville. Looking out to October, Highway 150 in Mooresville, over by Lake Norman. There's a bridge replacement over the Catawba River. That's coming in November. And then we're looking for the 4th runway to come out of Charlotte Douglas. That'll be coming later this year. And then I guess take a picture of the screen. If you want to be a pre-qualified vendor, laneconstruct.com, and email quotes, questions, comments, concerns, bidcarolina@laneconstruct.com. Thank you. Yep.
Good afternoon. I'm Christopher Edelberg. I'm an area operations manager with Flatiron Construction. As a lot of these other primes have already touched on, we kind of value partnerships with subcontractors and with other primes to accomplish all of the work that we have. Currently in our Mid-Atlantic division, which is based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, we have over $4 billion in backlog. In North Carolina alone, we have over $1.5 billion of backlog currently. So just looking at, misunderstood the assignment. I was really just came to talk about myself all day. Sorry about that. So looking at the projects that we currently have up on the screen, those are our active projects that are ongoing. We've got some others that aren't listed there that are in the phases of wrapping up, and some other design builds that are getting ready to start. So we kind of work all across the state, like Lane, like some of the other companies here. We focus predominantly on DOT bid build and design build work. What we're looking at for our future needs and upcoming opportunities, obviously we were just a bit outside on the I-40 design build project for those that follow the numbers. Congratulations to Archer Western on that one. Similar to some of the other teams here, the 211 job, I-85 design build in Gastonia will be a key pursuit for us. And then personally, because I live very close to Mooresville, North Carolina, the NC 150 will be heavily pursued by us as well. But again, get with me after this if you need to get our contact info for our estimating teams. But I just want to stress that we cannot accomplish the task at hand without partnerships from companies like y'all and from other DBEs and primes. It takes a lot to put this work in place, and we rely heavily on y'all and your resources to accomplish those tasks. So thank you for your time.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm excited to be here. My name is Kasal Saru. I am the DB Compliance Officer for Skanska. And I just want to also state that, we're very committed to DB compliance, to be able to partner with DBE firms and small businesses. That is my job through and through. I also want to give a quick shout out. We have our Senior Vice President, General Manager, Brooke Brookshire, in the back. You can give a quick wave. And we also have our Senior Vice President of Operation, Phil LaFave, in the back as well, too. So we have a lot of big decision makers in this room because we're committed to DBE firms. That's my contact information, my email, and my cell phone, so please feel free to take a picture of that. So Skanska is a very large construction firm, top 10 in the world. This is just a picture of our different offices and different projects we kind of have throughout. Kind of shows that we're kind of all over the United States. And what Skanska truly values is the Skanska values. These are the things that we live by. Care for life, safety, making sure everybody returns home the way they came in, act ethically and transparently. We have a high degree of ethics, especially when we deal with small businesses. Be better together, and our commitment to customers. So Skanska is, again, a very large construction firm. We have 3 main divisions here in the United States. We have our building division, that's everything vertical, skyscrapers, hospitals, football stadiums, schools. The civil, which what we represent here today, highways, bridges, tunnels, and rail. And of course, we have our commercial development group as well that goes out and buys and develops land and sells the asset afterwards. So, opportunities. Skanska was recently awarded the CMGC contract for the Alligator River Bridge. And Phil LaFave, that's back there as well, is leading up that project. There's a new bridge. The new bridge will replace the existing swing span bridge with a modern 2-lane high-rise bridge. It will include 2 12-foot travel lanes and 8-foot breakdown lanes. It's a two-phase, so we're currently in the first phase. The second phase, which is all of the construction of that. So there's plenty of opportunity. So this is a great opportunity for all of you to meet us, have conversations, and there's a lot of work to be had. And as part of our process, we will have future outreach events and informational sessions regarding this project as well too. Here's a quick picture of what it kind of looks like that we'll be building. And again, here's my contact information. Please take a picture of it. Come meet us afterwards. It'll be great. Thank you.
So I'm Mike Gray with United Infrastructure. I'll be your last speaker today and then hand it off to the moderators. So when we decided the order of our presentations today, Drew Johnson insisted that he be first and we saved the best for last. So you got me instead, so bear with me for a couple minutes. United is a family-owned company. We've been around for 100 years. So a little bit about United, founded in 1924. This is our 100th anniversary, so we're celebrating a little bit this year. It's fourth generation family owned. We have about 750 employees, and we're doing about $400 million a year annually or so. So of that $400 million, about 10 to 15% of that is DBE participation, because we basically do pretty much all DOT public work. So that's $40 to $60 million that we're subcontracting out a year to DBE firms like yourselves that support us tremendously. So we have a subsidiary company, United Demolition, which is currently assisting with the demolition of the Key Bridge in Baltimore. You may have heard of that. It's been in the news just a little bit lately, and very proud to have some involvement in that. We're based in northern South Carolina, but the business office that I run, basically take care of everything before construction starts, is located in Charlotte. And if you want to get your phones out, I'm going to give you a couple QR codes that are probably the most important thing you'll see from me. We're currently working on projects all over North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. We're working on I-95 in Lumberton in North Carolina and I-26 near Asheville. Those two projects worth about $800 million between the two of them. And we're pursuing about the same work that everybody else is, same scopes. We do large projects. We kind of focus more on bridge work, but do grading, drainage, all that work. So this is a QR code for our I-square foot system that we use for all solicitations. So if you get this, go to our I-square foot, you can enter your information. We have like a pre-qualification you can fill out, then you'll be in the system and you'll automatically get notifications when we're bidding work and reaching out for the solicitation process. This is our QR code for the pre-qual form. So you register for I-square foot, and then this form is where you'll fill out all your information, and we'll have everything in the system. You'll be ready to go. So when you send in a quote for a job, you'll be good. We won't have to collect any more information. So most important thing I can tell you is to talk to Wes Peace. He's our procurement manager. If you know Wes Peace, you love Wes Peace. If you don't know Wes Peace, I don't know where you've been, but you'll get to know him and you'll love him once you do. So he is the Duke of DBE, the samurai of solicitation, and the crown prince of procurement, and he'll tell you that. So this is his contact information. Get it, and if you're in touch with him, you are golden with us, and you'll understand why as soon as you talk to him. So appreciate the time today. Look forward to connecting with you further, and I'll hand it off to the moderators to close us out.
Okay, well, before I close out, I wanted to see if there were any primes in the room that wanted to introduce themselves so that folks can put a face with a name. No pressure. Is Ronnie still here? Okay, all right. Can you stand up and introduce yourself? no pressure as well. Thank you, Ronnie. I also have one of our support partners that helped us to put together a webinar to prepare for this session. Does that firm want to introduce themselves? Any other primes in the room? Primes. Thank you. Any other primes? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming today. We're not closing. Don't worry, we're not closing. We're going to have a time for open discussion, so I'll give my closing remarks. But thank you to Blake for the stoplight, for keeping everyone on time. He was managing a clock and a stoplight, red, yellow, green. We all got the assignment, so thank you. We wanted to make sure we balanced the room, that you heard the opportunities, but then we hear from you. But thank you to all the primes for this insightful conversation. I appreciate your giving us opportunities and keeping it short and simple, right? And thank you, Boyd, and your team as well for your partnership and collaboration and helping to facilitate and get the speakers here today. So as we wrap up the session, I would like to take a minute to thank our partners, NC Go and the NC Chamber, for helping us host this year's NC Transportation Summit. I would also like to thank our sponsors who helped make this event happen. If you haven't done so already, please check out the vendors in the exhibit hall. You'll find some impressive technology and companies on display. Make sure to also visit the NCDOT Office of Civil Rights Business Development Zone. We are going to leave here and go to the zone, and you can go ahead and get your 30-second spiels out and get work today, okay? Because what's the words of today? Get work. I don't think some of y'all believe that. What's the word? Get work, right? So Mr. Boyd Tharrington said we are $10 billion in funding. We have $2 billion over the next 12 months that we have to spend. So we need to get work. So after you visit the zone, make sure you follow up with our office if you need any additional matchmaking assistance. There will also be tonight a networking from 5 to 7 in the exhibit hall during the reception, and that's sponsored by H&TB, who's also present in the room. And for those who are logging professional development hours, a self-reporting form will be sent out by Hausman and Associates for attendees that have registered and checked in. So check in and register if you haven't. But thank you for attending this session, and we look forward to seeing you tonight during H&TB's vendor reception. Stay seated, and we'll hear from our next moderator, and then we'll have open discussion. So if you can kind of get your thoughts together, this is the time to be impactful. Boyd?
All right. I'm just going to be real short and sweet. I appreciate those presentations. Really good information. I think that was the idea here, was to have the primes really talk about, hey, here's the actual projects we're going to be bidding on. Here's the contact information. Here's a little bit about our company. I think that's really important piece of all this, is getting to know who these folks are and what types of work do they do. So great. Also want to thank Victor, Victor Barber with AGC, North Carolina's AGC. When we tried to round up all the folks to be here, Victor's the first person we called, and he was very instrumental in making sure we coordinated with all of you guys and really helped us pull this thing together. So we appreciate that, Victor. Again, Tanya mentioned the business development zone. I think maybe we'll ask a few questions and have a little bit of a question and answer session here now, if there are any questions. But the important piece is that, you know, we take this group here, we go to the business development zone. You kind of know who the players are as far as our primes and other firms that have stood up. Let's go to the zone and take advantage of that time to really network and get to know some of these folks and learn a little bit more about what their needs are. So with that, I'll close it down. And Tanya, I don't know if you wanted to lead the...
Okay. I neglected to mention as well, for those who have not been following, but the DBE program has just gone through a rewrite. It was effective May 9th. The program is more flexible, more expansive, and so check that out, because some firms who were not eligible prior may be eligible now. So with that being said, I know you all burning with questions, so go ahead and raise your hand. The rules for the questions are, we don't need a lot of commentary, right? Who you are, what you're looking for, or what questions do you have? Anyone? 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 We have Blake. Y'all came here to get work. I see a lot of DBEs in the room. Do not be bashful, even if it's just to introduce yourself. Go right ahead. Get work.
Good afternoon. My name is Natia Ridges, and I own Timely Transportation and Logistics. I'm out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. My question is, as a small business who has built her network, built her team, and has operated in her lane as a small business, earthwork is what I'm looking for. I didn't say what I was looking for. Earthwork is what I'm looking for. I have been fortunate to have a mentor who has helped me develop and grow my team so that I'm able to pursue the work. How would I approach one of the companies in order to show our capabilities?
So how would she market herself to you to show her capabilities for earthwork?
Who was your mentor? Okay. Well, the biggest thing is for you to, I'm a little old-fashioned because I'm old, like they keep telling me, but coming to see and meet people and say, here's what I do, here's what I want to commit to, here's what it, I know that sounds old and not texting or something, but for liability purposes for everybody to move forward, it is the best thing to go do. I miss the lettings that we had sort of at the middle of the night at the hotels where we could meet people all the time. But it is a part of that. You can, and whoever's doing your mentor stuff, they can help you reach out and say, hey, look, they have done and they know how to do, and that'll help. But you gotta reach out.
I think the best thing would, if you see a project, call up the estimator, ask them what quarries they're working, how far a borrow pit might be, how many trucks they might need. Tell them how many trucks you have, because I know a lot of people, they'll send us a quote, hourly trucking, but it doesn't say how many trucks they have. So, we either run the risk of, okay, assigning them a lot of trucking and they have one truck or whatever, but you might have 10 trucks, or you might have access to 10 trucks. You might not have 10, but you've got 5 and you've got 5 friends, and that might bring it up. And I think if you're, especially on the earth moving side, telling, making that phone call, asking, hey, is it night work? Hey, is it day work? What hours are you going to work? When do you think this is going to happen? And just asking a lot of questions, and that'll, to Drew's point, kind of develop that relationship and gain that trust, and let people know what you're capable of, which is, I think, the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I just want to echo those comments as well too. If you have a great capability statement, kind of spells out what you're capable, that'd be great. Also have your elevator pitch ready when you do meet folks to have that conversation, and just be open and honest exactly what your capabilities are. Especially if there's a large project, it might be a little bit too much for you to chew on, and whatever your company's comfortable with, definitely just convey that. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that too. So like, we do a lot of larger projects, but you may look at that and say that's out of your scope or your realm of comfort. But a lot of times we'll segment certain portions of the project, or we may be willing to break that out, you know, on whether it's Y-line work or some of the secondary road work. So if that's more in your wheelhouse, just come talk to the estimators, be open about what your capabilities are so that we can figure out, is there an opportunity to get you guys more work and to put y'all to use on those scopes of work.
Thank you for the safety moment.
Do you use automated grade control? Got into that?
I think we have another question here. Oops, I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Joe Velasquez with Dronescape. It's a professional engineering firm that focuses on drones. So we do a lot of infrastructure inspection and such. But my question is, how often do you go after engineering firms as partners under your DBE umbrella?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's actually probably one of the more popular questions from professional services firm at every single event that I go to. And, you know, so Skanska does a lot of design build, and what we do, if there is a DB goal, we do a flow down provision for our, you know, main lead designer. So they have to go and obtain DB participation as well too. And we incorporate that in our outreach events and our meetings and everything as well too, so that way they can add more to the firms. And of course, there's always things that happen on a project that may require some more services. It may not be as big, but we always try to look at those scopes of work to see if we're able to give those out as well too.
Yeah, I was going to echo the same thing. It's just mainly going through the prime designer, but that doesn't mean you can't reach out to the primes as well, because we're not always partnering with the same prime designer. So develop the relationship with each of us so that we know to look for you or to ask you to be on our team. So again, it's about outreach, coming to us, and you know, don't be afraid to take some time to come and talk to us. We need additional partners all the time in all scopes.
Okay, we have.
So just in the design build world, be early. Build your relationships, know what's coming. Like I said, if you wait till the advertisement, you're too late. Teams have already been forged, and it's very difficult to break that up or get into it.
Okay, we have another question here.
Hello, I'm Judy Helene. My company is CES Group Engineers, so we're another professional services firm. Work in the civil engineering, land surveying, subsurface utility locating, utility coordination services. So do a lot of work for the big prime design firms and construction firms alike. So I noticed when you were giving your presentations, many of you mentioned pre-qualification through the website. Do you require that for the services that we perform, you know, which would be construction staking, land surveying, subsurface utility locating, utility coordination? You know, do you look for pre-qualification on that?
I'd say the number one thing that link is for, that registration, is to get you into the system. So once you're into the system, when we've got something bidding, when we're looking at something, we know to contact you. So there's more information that the procurement folks will be looking for, but the number one most valuable thing about that is get into the system. That way we know who you are, what your contact information is, and then whenever we've got something working, we know to call you.
Yeah, just follow up with that. I think a lot of pre-qualification can kind of be happen after the fact sometimes. You know, if you can at least get quote in and get your information to us,
we can kind of work with you and get stuff, that can happen after the fact. If we're looking for bids and trying to get quotes in, we can always work with somebody, and it's not like nobody closes the door on anyone.
Yeah, I'd just like to add on to that. So one of the QR codes that I put up was a pre-qualification link, and that's not necessarily any type of like pre-qualification competition or anything like that. It's just where you can go and you can enter a lot more detailed information about your firm. So we are more familiar when we send out our solicitations and we receive back quotes or proposals from the firms. We have information on hand about your resources, capacity, what your capabilities are, and some of that at our fingertips. So we can kind of take a look at that and see if it looks like it is a fit, and if we would want to have further conversations about that. So. It could be, as far as design build goes, as Travis was saying, be early. And if you're particularly interested in specific projects or targeting specific opportunities, then that needs to be a conversation. That needs to be a specific contact. We need to be in discussion about that well in advance of the project, and we need to know exactly what the interest is, because as Travis mentioned, the teams are formed very early on, and they're formed very specific to the requirements of the project, the geography of the project, size, scope, specific challenges, and even individual resources of the upper management staff available to run the design of the side of the design build contract, and that specific. So it is a very advanced and detailed, in-depth discussion. So.
Any more DBEs? Okay. You're not a DBE. This is our infamous Deputy Director, Tanya Marriott, who keeps me in line. She makes all the connections for our office, and she does a fantastic job.
I have a question for the primes. Recently, as Director Smith mentioned, there is a new DBE final rule. And I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to read through it. But in there, it talks about the opportunities for DBEs to now, when you go to the Directory of Firms, they can have a link built into the Directory of Firms that sends you to their website. So my question to the primes is, as they're building out these new websites, what are some of the things that you would like to see on the website to help you build that relationship that we just keep talking about?
Anyone like to take that?
That's a great question. So maybe I can rephrase some of it, is that it goes back to marketing themselves to you. What are the core criteria or conditions you're looking for that we can help with the matchmaking, especially as we develop our digital footprint in the space? But it could be manual or any which way.
Sure. So I go on to the different state, because Skanska does work in a lot of different regions, and I go on to a lot of different DB directories. They're all not the same, as everybody knows. They're all a little bit different. What's always great to see, of course, is some project history on there as well. What project have you completed to say, your capability and things like that. That's actually really helpful. And also a great summary of the core things that you do besides your NAICS codes, because your NAICS codes are there, they're general, but to say, hey, this is our specialty, these are the things we've done. Now this is just in general what, through all the years to better match up to see exactly what you are. Also, it's very important to make sure your information's correct, because I do try to call for folks and it's the wrong number or the email address is incorrect. Also, there's businesses that do not exist anymore. And sometimes that's a little bit hard trying to, you know, contact folks when you don't know which ones are still active and which ones aren't as well too. So just some of those little things would be great.
Yeah, just follow up on that. The contact information is super important in capabilities. You know, like Coastal said, you know, previous projects is always helpful as well. Just show your capabilities. But anything like that's, you know, super helpful when you click on a website. You know, especially when you're bidding a project and you know somebody submits a bid that you've never heard of and have no idea who they are. At least you can get some basic information in a quick time frame. I don't know how that would work, but you know, I think capability statements is, you know, probably more important at that stage.
So we still have about 30 minutes, so we don't want to shortchange you. This is your opportunity, so do not hold back. I know for some of our firms are shy, and we want to pull something out of you. I would encourage all of our small businesses who are here, ask a question. Make yourself known at the least. Who are you? What do you do? And let them know you are ready. If closed mouths don't get fed.
Hi, I'm Naveen Hanna with Atlantic Contracting Company. We're based in Greensboro. We do general contracting work as well as subcontracting. My question was based on the conversation we had earlier today and this new era of AI. Is your company, I guess you guys being more, you know, larger established primes, do you guys use AI other than, you know, ChatGPT or softwares that help you to get more into the world that we're in today, this technological world? Just out of curiosity.
Good question. I'm coming. Okay. Now, y'all construction people, but you deal with AI, right? Okay.
Andy and I were just badgering back and forth here, but I think I can speak for everybody. The highway construction industry especially, I ain't gonna say construction industry in general, vertical probably does a lot different, but the highway construction industry is probably as far behind and will try to remain so as any industry out there. I don't think any of us want to bite that off and where it would lead. So, as Drew said, face to face, we're gonna reach out, let people know about jobs. We want you to come and see us. Then once you get the job, do what you say. Even if it's not as much as we would like it to be, just tell us what you can do and do that. You do that, you'll be a repeat customer. And forget AI.
I have a question back here.
Hello. My name is Janelle Reddick. I'm the president of R.L. Thompson Company. Hey, Andy. We're from New Bern, North Carolina. We are in trucking. I'm second generation, running the business, trucking dump trucks over the road. And so my question is about CDL drivers. You know, you can get a CDL at the age of 18 now. I would like to know how the primes feel about that. And would you actually hire them, and what advice would you give them to get started in that?
So let's paraphrase. You got an 18-year-old who barely knows how to drive a car, getting a semi-license. Are you ready for them? You can be honest, be honest.
Anybody can drive one right now. That's the sad part about it. And of course, better have your insurance and all of it covered, because we'll be checking it, because it doesn't want to be put on us, because I know everybody's stretched out for who they need, but we're doing the same thing with our personnel.
So was that a yes or a no? Okay, well, maybe their parents will insure them. Okay.
Yeah, I would also say that, I mean, you asked, what advice you could give to the 18-year-old, and I would just say, take advantage of that opportunity. Like, you hear us saying that we need people in those seats. I'm sure you're aware you need people to run your trucks as well. Be responsible and take advantage of that opportunity that's ahead of them, because they can make a really good living driving trucks and building these projects in North Carolina and keep them close to home. But if they act like maybe I did when I was 18, it probably wouldn't end so well. So just different strokes.
Great response. So get your insurance up if you live in an area with young drivers and truckers, right? But this is a good opportunity for generational wealth. So that was a great question. Thank you.
We have a question right here.
Hi, my name is Maria Phillips, and I am with Aguilas Masonry Services, and I just wanted to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to be here, and I just wanted to let ourselves be known, and we are ready. We're actually ready. We do masonry drain instructors, we build catch basins, we do aprons, we do sidewalks and concrete work. So if anybody needs any help, we're here.
Where are you from?
Our office is located in Chatham County in Siler City, but we normally work all over the state.
We have another question right here.
Good afternoon. My name is David Janifer, and I'm with Business Transformation Group. We're a management consulting firm that does program inclusion management on large infrastructure projects. What that means is that we monitor goals, compliance, and outreach for large projects. The question that I have for the primes is, how quickly can a sub get a package that they can manage? How quickly can you give them a package or details of a package that they would be able to manage once they contact you?
Anyone want to respond to that? Okay. Well, listen, the audience is going to take it.
I've got it.
Okay, got it? Okay. So he does compliance. So I know several of you mentioned the compliance side, and you have technology, patented software that you can help facilitate the utilization of firms on their projects. Yes. And many other factors.
One of the main focuses is package, getting information to folks so they know what they're dealing with. It's hard to know if you're capable if you don't know what you're dealing with.
Okay, you're talking about work packages like subs and groups and quantities, and that actually comes out with the RFP. So basically, we best it up based off the DOT codes, and we have it the day that the project comes out. But yeah, design build is different. Design build will probably come out 30 to 60 days before that.
Absolutely, but at some point, folks need to know what they're dealing with.
Sure.
So what I'm used to seeing is that once a job starts or once you get started, we have scope of work sessions where you give firms absolute details so that they can make a determination as to whether or not they can deal with what you have to offer. That's what I'm referring to.
And I think on design build, and that we'll do outreaches and those. It depends on the designer, but usually we're 60 days out, and we're going through the DOT's website and mining the contractors that do those work and mailing packages out or emailing packages out.
Since this session's about getting work, I think he's soliciting himself to say, I could do it for you. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. We want to put them on a spot for, yeah, just. Okay.
I was just going to say, my name is Cheryl Biagini. I own Roadworks Construction Company. Just from a DBE point of view, and to some of the other questions, it's all about getting to know these companies and knowing who to talk to, and then biting off a little bit of work at a time. Flatiron is a good example for us. We did a tiny bit of work on 540, and then we did $4 million worth of work on 540 over the past 3 years. So, and then we're going after more work with them and potentially some culverts on some other jobs. But we might do 2 culverts. We don't know yet, but you just have to keep talking to the estimators or the project managers and trying to work with them, because they don't always know either, especially when it's a design build, like how many crews they're going to have, how the job is going to be laid out or phased. So it's really about being patient and just persistent.
We have a
I think we
question
have
right
one in
here.
the back. Okay, you have one here? And then one in the back after.
Good afternoon. I'm Belandra Foster, President and Principal Engineer of BB Foster Consulting. We provide civil engineering services, utility coordination, construction inspection, quality control, and program management. I have a few questions here. For the gentleman, Blake Horning with Sunrock, you had utilities on your list. Is that utilities coordination or just utilities locating and utilities installation? For Blythe Development, I'd like to learn a little bit more about what your development arm of your company is looking for. For Mike Gregg, UIG, tell West Peace I said hello, and I can't remember, and that I'll be re-engaging with him. And are any of you in the EV, electric vehicle development space?
All right, so y'all want to go in order?
Thank you.
The West Peace Fan Club. Yes. Yes.
When you say development space, you mean
The-
And ICF does NEVI planning, but we don't purchase the land. So we're working with California actually on developing their, part of their system of, how's it gonna work, what's gonna be private, what's gonna be public, where's it gonna be, where those placements are. But again, we don't build anything. That's these people. Right.
Yes, this is Blake Horning with Sunrock. As far as when I was talking about utilities, that's more or less the installation. For us, we don't do as much on the design build side as most of these other guys up here. So we're mainly looking for people to do sewer, water, and storm, all the wet utilities.
And I have a question way back here.
Hold on, Shed. Travis Paget with Blythe Development. We actually were no longer in the development business. We work for owners and developers and do their work, but we're not out developing land and that kind of stuff.
We have a question in the back, and then we're going to go here next. And if anyone else wants to, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and we can get you in order.
Yes, my name is Ken Wheaton. I'm a DBE program consultant. We actually develop DBE programs. We've been in business for 35 years. We develop programs and goal methodologies for almost all the airports in North Carolina and also NCDOT. I was listening to some, and we keep up regulations. The regulations have changed. Some of you may know that there's a new final rule for DB regulations that became effective May the 9th. One of the things that was, I've heard reference, was the design build program. That's going to change. Up until now, it was hard to kind of tie down the goals for for design build because it goes in phases, and you start out, you can't project or predict when you're going to need DBEs or where and so forth. The new regulations is going to require you to have something called, well, I get letters for it. It's OEPP, an open-ended participant. Yes.
We don't want to go into the DB final rule now because we weren't ready for that, but let's go on with the getting work because we weren't ready for that conversation. That may open up more questions and we're ready to answer. But do you want to refocus it to some of the work opportunities available?
There's plenty of work opportunities available because there's more funding now for all kinds of projects. So keep your minds and ears open, but the way that things are done, it's going to change a little bit as well. And we also do program management for large projects as well. My firm does. So we do training too. So I was just sharing some knowledge.
Thank you. We're going to have a rollout coming out soon with the DB final rule, so stay tuned. We were going to send you all an invitation. There's a lot to go over.
So
Next
we're
question.
gonna have a question right here.
Hey, my name's Martha Moore. I'm with CJ Geo. I know some of you guys. Hi, everybody back there. We're a specialty grouting contractor, so water stop, leak stopping, chemical grouting, polyurethane grouting for settlement correction and void filling. And then we also install low-density cellular concrete for long-run and large pipe abandonment, annular space grouting, and raising grade above soil, MSE backfill, embankments, all of that jazz. So my question is, we have done a good job as subcontractors, I think, getting in with you guys early in design build to be that resource to work with you and whatever engineering firm you're working with in order to kind of say, hey, how can we help you determine if this is a good solution for you? What's the budget for it? All of that. I guess my biggest question is, we can make a lot of traction with one group in one office or one project in one portion of the state, and that doesn't get transmitted to the other divisions as well as the other offices. So I guess what's the best way to get in front of, if you guys have utilities, you also have design build, you have structures, you have vertical market, buildings, commercial, what's the best way to spread the word about the resources that we have as well as the projects we've done with you guys?
Sure
So
all
that
y'all
everybody
can answer
knows.
that, right? All
All
can
y'all.
answer. Okay, so this is a good time for each of you to also do your closing remarks, and then we can transition over. So I'll start this side, and you can add any final closing remarks you want to say about your firm and what you have available.
Okay, I'll just, go back to what we've been saying. I mean, it's really just about the communication and building the relationships and getting in with our estimating teams if we're looking at work, just to transition through. Flatiron doesn't do vertical construction, so I mean, from a heavy civil standpoint in the area, if you come do work on our project and you do good work, it's going to spread through our projects. Our PMs talk. We actually have a leadership meeting going on right now in Raleigh for all of our PMs to come together. We do a lot of those networking things so that we can kind of compare notes and learn from what everybody else is doing. So, but yeah, I mean, just maintain the communication is all I would say. So.
Just want to say in closing, Skanska has the Alligator River project that's going to be in the second phase, so there's plenty of opportunity for work. So please come see me afterwards, and we can have a good conversation.
Blake Horning with Sunrock. Just like everyone's been saying, just communicate, go to our website, and just let us know you're out there. And if it doesn't happen the first time, just keep on trying. We'll eventually make something happen, and we'll look forward to making a team with all of you guys eventually. So try to get everybody involved.
Casey Hurley with Lane again. To answer your question, and reiterate the same word, communicate. Speak where you're having success. Speak to that project. Speak to that project manager, and I can confirm exactly what he just said right there. We communicate amongst our projects. So whether it be weekly, monthly, daily, when I've got a problem, I call the other lane projects. When I need something, I call the other lane projects. So when you communicate to that project and say, I'm looking, I'm available, I'll go, your name gets said. So to reiterate for the fourth or fifth time, communicate. So let everybody know who you are, what you do, and where you want to go, what your capabilities are.
Travis Padgett with Blythe Development. Just, Christopher commented about relation. Our business is so relational. Just be relational. Answer the phone. Even if you know you're fixing to get a question you don't want to answer. We'd rather have the answer we don't want to hear rather than no answer. Just stay in touch. We don't have to like what each other says every time, but we need to get along, and you can do that. You can do both. So opportunities are out there. As Drew said, face to face. That's the way we like things. It's a little more effort, but face to face is the best way to build these relationships.
Thanks, Travis. So Mike Gray with UIG, and that's so true. And I just would like to build on that some. And for us, anytime we have a subcontractor coming in to do critical items of work, and on the projects that we all work on, almost all the items of work are critical at some point. And we are putting our trust in the subcontractor. And the fact is, the cost for non-performance for us is, if liquidated damages are $10,000 a day, that's $10,000 a day. If we can't depend on someone to show up, then that's just liquidated damages. The cost of us being on a large project, a large design build project, could be 10 times that per day, the cost of us being on that project. So that's the real cost of when you can't depend on a sub to come in and do an item of work. So just be honest, be direct. If you can't do work, say you can't do work. If you say you're going to do work, show up, perform. If you haven't worked with us, understand that that you need to come in and you need to explain what your capabilities are, and look for, as you said, look for small opportunities to get in the door, to prove yourself, and to do some good work. And to answer your question about the cellular, poly, and grout specifically, so if you want to get in touch with us, we've used the polyurethane injection for grade correction and grout injection a good bit. It's pretty specialized. We have a centralized construction engineering department that's pretty robust. If we have a problem that requires an engineered solution on a project, they're going to come to that group, which is in my office in Charlotte. And all the design build is run out of my office and managed under me. So that would be a single point of contact where you could have an opportunity. So.
Yep. Lee Bradley with Blythe Construction. To your point, we do heavy civil work, and everything comes through me or one of my estimators in the office where I am. So if you get in touch with us, you've gotten in touch with everybody. And the other thing I'll say on closing is, a lot of times we bid on way more projects than we ever land. And, I've used many different agencies or firms in the past on work that we didn't win. So, it's not that your numbers aren't getting used, but, it's got to match up with a job that we're low bidder on as well. And so I get lots of calls is, why don't you ever use my number? And the reason is because I'm not low bidder. So I can't do the job. And, I think that goes for all of us up here. We bid a lot more work than we ever get. And, just because we haven't used you in the past doesn't mean we hadn't used your number.
Yeah, I would second that, Andy Berry with ST Wooten. But I know you know Davis, so if you've gotten up with him, then you've touched the right person with us. And we're centralized as well in Wilson for design build and everything. So if you've talked to me or Davis, then we've got your information. And I'd just like to second what Lee said here. Be persistent, don't give up, and always turn in a quote. We can't use you if you don't send us a number. And I would send everyone on the bidders list a number. Don't hook up to one person, hook up to everybody, because that's the best opportunity, is to get your number out to as many people as possible, and then follow up with that number. Make the phone call. Even if you call Lee and he says, "Oh, well, I wasn't low," he'll probably tell you who was low, and then you can call them. So if you have questions, call, and please just send us a quote.
Keith Nixon with Balfour Beatty. We need you. The fact is, the projects are getting bigger. We can't self-perform as much as we would have liked in the past. We need the subcontract community to step up and help us, and we need the solicitations. And specifically to answer your question, the verticals and the civils business with a large company like mine don't talk very well, so sometimes it is a little bump. So we're trying to centralize it, hence the QR code I showed. You can look on there and that's centralized, and then we are working with you, aware of that. But again, just to summarize, we need the community to step up with us for these mega projects these days.
Matt Payne with Archer Western, and to echo everything everybody said, I like what Andy said, is don't just select one person. We're, if we're doing good, we're hitting 1 in 3, and that's really good. So, that's awesome, right? That's awesome. You're an all-star. Everybody knows what you're doing, and that doesn't happen, obviously. So get your numbers out to develop relationships with all of us. And as Keith said, we need everybody in this room. We even need 18-year-old drivers out there. I mean, we've thrown older drivers off. Just because you have more years doesn't mean you're a good driver, right? So I'm sure you all know that as well. But it's all of our responsibilities to help everybody succeed, and that's why we're here. And we're here to help you. You're here to help us, and that's how the relationship works. Thank you. Oh, Drew.
Yeah, Drew Johnson, Branch Civil. One of the things that you guys asked, like what makes me look good and attractive to come and work with somebody. Another thing is make sure when you're doing that, and one thing that wasn't mentioned is a lot of you don't or have not bonded things. Remember, this is all about a lot of liabilities for us and for you to have a good job. If we don't know you that well, some sort of security is always, so be prepared to be able to take retainages and do some things like that. And don't be scared of letting us to help our liabilities, do joint checks on materials. All that stuff makes that liability and your usage be, so look up on it, see what you're willing to do, and make sure that because we need the best we can have to get the best price we can go after. And so we need you to be that person too.
Thank you. So I want to thank all of our primes that joined us today. So I'm going to ask all of you to stay seated. If my primes can follow Athena, we're going to get them situated in the business development zone for further conversation. So follow Athena. The rest of you stay seated, and I'll give you some instructions for the networking, and we'll also give you a parting gift. So if all the small businesses can let the primes go first so we can get them in place and let them get their materials set up. So if you can hold off one moment and let the primes go out, give them the courtesy to go.
Tanya, I wanted to point out that at 16, I turned 16 in the mountains a long time ago. And I turned 16 in February, and that following fall in August, I was driving a school bus with 45 children in it. So they can do it.
Yes.
They can do it.
Thank you. So, yeah. So for the zone, so what's going to happen is that all of the primes that you saw and maybe a few more that we've invited will head over to the business development zone. What we want you to do is, you heard the opportunities. This is the next level to say specifically, we don't need to hear about your childhood. We don't want to hear about the yesteryears. We don't want you to criticize the primes. What we want you to do is say what you heard today, what you can do, and how soon you can make it happen. That is the instruction. That's also based off the surveys that we got last year from the primes. They just want this to be, they don't want you to sell them overly hard. They want to hear from you specifically, how soon can you do it, what can you do, and what obstacles do you need from them to help you get started. I do have a question from ICF.
I was just gonna add that.
Blake is behind you.
To remember, Hey, I was just going to add that when you go and meet these people, they all the primes kept saying relationship, relationship, relationship. This is where you start that relationship, and that matters. Like, if you're going to write down your job description, you all need to have relationship building being one of your prime responsibilities, because that's going to grow your company. People like to work with people they know and trust. So good luck.
Yes, and after this session, so we had some webinars and outreaches leading up to this. Afterward, we'll do some follow-up. Part of our strategy is that we do intense conversations with the primes to understand what they're looking for. So after this, we're going to probably put together a post-wrap-up webinar to hear from you. But if you don't hear after today, if for some reason they don't call you and they just said they need work, you call one of us. Okay? They're busy. Sometimes things get lost, but we want to be extremely intentional about making sure that y'all get work. That is our core mission of today. Mr. Cole?
Thank you so much. Hi, Tanya, and I'm Nicole Giammi, and former employee with NCDOT, so still very much a part of the NCDOT family. I currently work with the Institute with the Small Business Transportation Resource Center, and what I wanted to say, I heard about the bonding. People, that is something that, in partnership with NCDOT, that is some technical assistance training that we can provide to you. So if bonding, needing to understand about bonding, if that is what you need, please see me. I can share my information and we can look at how we get together to get you involved in that training. So that's not a limitation for you when you're looking to work with these primes.
Thank you. So yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, check your emails. A lot of things are going to spam. And Tanya, stand up for a moment. You can come up down if you want. Part of this, the struggle is that even for today, we got a lot of bounce backs and non-response. And the summit gave us 50 free tickets to come here today that we couldn't fill, right? But use that to your advantage to go out and get the work. So Tanya, you can come down. I don't think they all. So Tanya's saying we have a lot of classes coming up. We have some bonding classes. We'll do some follow-up. But also while she's coming down, do y'all have any questions of us before we release you to the zone? Ms. Belandra? Yes, you want to get we'll follow up with you with the PowerPoint, and then everything you heard, we're going to do a recap webinar to recap everything and go over in a smaller session. Thank you.
Oh, no, I just wanted to tell you about the classes that are upcoming again. If you were here yesterday, you missed an awesome opportunity to get the institutional knowledge of bonding and insurance. I heard it was an awesome class. In fact, we are going to go on the road with that. It will be in Asheville. Benny just left. July 8th. Kim, were you there yesterday? I was not. Okay. So again, that's just one of many, many classes that are coming out. So please make sure your information's updated so that you can also be a part. That is part of your supportive services. It is free. We just need you to come.
And another resource for you is that if you go to www.nctransportationsummit.com, over on the far right hand in the tabs will be media. And soon after this conference is over with, we are uploading all of the events that have happened here today. And so that should assist you to see the other things that were going on and other opportunities as a whole. So please make sure that you go to our website under media and see those.
Yes, and facilitating and networking, we have two support partners in the room. So Ronnie Keeter from HNTB has offered his assistance, and also Greer Beatty with ICF. So if you need help kind of nudging, if you're a little shy, you need to break into these prime contractors, between these two, they know every last one of them. They know where they eat, where they live, their family. If you can't get them today, we know how to stalk them. All right, thank you all for coming today.